Hey ladies, okay, I have a question, and if you can see from the title, it's probably going to say something about Mirena. I have been on the Mirena IUD for a year and a few months. I think it was last a year ago June. I believe I got it and started. It was 12 weeks postpartum, so let's say 15 months I've had it. No issues. I had cramping in the beginning, like a couple days, and then I spotted for like ever, like 3 months of spotting. But I haven't had a period. I've had no issues, nothing. So far I've liked it, and I've recommended it to people, and I've heard people hating it. I've heard people loving it. So, anyways, on Friday, me and my husband had intercourse, and it was a little more painful than usual. It usually isn't painful, but I really didn't think anything of it. I was just like, okay, maybe it's, just tender. I don't know. No spotting, nothing. Really didn't pay attention to it too much because I was kind of busy this weekend, going up for my birthday and stuff. So on Monday, I noticed I was crampy, but again, I thought, I worked out on Saturday, so maybe it's just the muscles in my, stomach. I don't know. It started getting worse, so I decided to check my strings. I checked my strings, and there are no strings, so it is not there. Later, before I went to bed, I just decided to check again, just maybe I missed it because my strings are really short, so I can just usually feel the tip of them. Still weren't there. This morning I woke up, still had cramps. These are very minor cramps. It doesn't hurt that bad. It's just uncomfortable. I'm not used to having cramps because I don't have a period anymore. So I have my yearly checkup was supposed to be tomorrow, but I called today to see if I could come in because I can't find my strings, and that's what you're supposed to do, go to the doctor. So they got me in. They had a cancellation, so we went, and, he came in, and he was getting ready to, give me my pap, and I told him, I can't find my Mirena. Well, I said I was having cramping, and he's like, oh, it might be cysts, that Mirena, 1 in 10 women can develop cyst from Mirena, and I've had a cyst before. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's not a cyst. I'm just because I can't find my strings. And he's like, oh, you can't find your strings. Okay. He's like, well, maybe it fell out. I was like, okay, I don't think so because, not saying it probably couldn't fall out and me not feel it, but I would see it in the toilet, or I would have found it on my bed, like if it fell out during sex or going to the bathroom. Like, I would have seen it, Anyway, so he went to go do my pap. He, did it, and he said, I kind of see something in your uterus, cervix. I don't know. I wasn't really, can't remember here now. Even though it just happened a little bit ago. So he said he saw something, but it wasn't in reach where he could grab it, and he didn't want to grab it and pull it in case, blah, blah. So he was like, okay, we gotta do an ultrasound. And I'm like, oh, okay, good. Like, I was actually in the room that had the ultrasound machine. So I was like, okay, he's just going to use this one. And he's like, okay, so I'll see you in 10 days. I'm like, okay, no, like, aren't we going to do this now? And he's like, okay, go across the street and get one. So I thought I could walk across the street and go get an ultrasound. Now, of course, I got to call an appointment. And I'm sorry if I'm like rambling really quick, but I talk really fast when I get nervous. Oh, okay. So I make an appointment for tomorrow. I go to get an ultrasound done, a pelvic ultrasound, and I'll probably have to get the transvaginal one because I don't think they can see it from the outside, especially because I have a inverted uterus anyway. So lovely, I get the wand. So all you pregnant ladies know what I'm talking about there. It's always a joy. But anyways, my question to you is, if you've had Mirena and you've had this happen to you, has your IUD went MIA and not like fallen out MIA, like floating around in your uterus? Has it happened to you? Did you get an ultrasound and then everything was okay and they could place it back? Of course, I got online and I'm reading these horror stories of things that have happened with Mirena. And now I'm freaking out because, they've said that they can, go through your uterine wall, which I knew this getting it. But again, you don't think that's going to happen to you. There's people who's actually outside of their uterus, and floating around in their body and can hit other organs, and people have had to have, surgery, and it's pretty crazy. Like, I read some other story that some lady, you know, she had two that ended up doing the exact same thing, except the first one they said that fell out didn't fall out. It was actually in her abdominal wall. And then the other one was like floating around in her uterus and they couldn't get it out and she had to get surgery, and that freaks me out. So, if you've had any issues with your Mirena like this and everything was fine after you got like your ultrasound, you know, can you give me some hope? Now, if you have some crazy scary story, please don't tell me. I've read enough online today and I'm already freaking out. I'm trying not to, but it's like, of course, that like hypochondriac inside of me, which I'm not really a hypochondriac. I used to be when I was a child, like, but I feel like now I'm like, oh my God, now my cramps are getting worse. Like, oh my God, it's embedding in my uterine wall. And, you know, just the fact that I have something floating around, lost maybe in my uterus is not a good feeling, because I'm pretty sure that's one place you don't want to lose something is in your uterus. So, yeah, I just wanted to get on here and just, see if anybody's experienced this, because, like, looking online, I just saw, like, oh, I love it, and then I saw horror stories. Like, I never saw, like, oh, this happened to me, got it put back in, and then everything was fine, and there's a hair floating around. Reading everything makes me want to get it removed, because obviously I don't want this to happen again, but then it's like, I've already paid, for this, and this was a really good thing financially to get done, because, God, I have so many little hairs floating around here. Because cost of birth control, and this is supposed to be for 5 years, and it's already paid for, and I really don't want to have to only use it for a year and then get it taken out. But obviously, I will if I have to. I was on the NuvaRing. I liked the NuvaRing, but it was really hard to try to conceive afterwards. After getting off it, I had a really big issue. I don't know if I want to get back on the NuvaRing. I really don't want to do any other birth control. I want to use my Mirena because I paid for it. Anybody have that, implant or something like that? That little thing they put like under your arm? If you've had one of those, let me know how you like that, because that might be the next one, because, yeah. And I've talked about like 7.5 minutes, and I'm sorry, but I'm totally freaking out, and none of my friends want to answer the phone so that I can vent. Even my mom won't answer, and I'm like freaking out. Like, so I just needed to like vent, and so I'm venting to you. So fingers crossed that they find it, they can put it back in place, and I have no more issues, no surgery, because we cannot financially right now do surgery. Like, there's just no way. Like, oh my God. And I don't want to have surgery. No surgery. I'm totally freaking. I'm sorry. Yeah. So if you have had this happen, please comment down below. Again, if you have scary stories, please don't tell me them. I've read enough freaking out. And keep your fingers crossed for me, please. I will do a video tomorrow to let you know what happened at the ultrasound, and what the next steps are. And like I said, I just hope everything is fine. But please, let me know if you have any experience with this, and keep your fingers crossed for me. And sorry for rambling and freaking out and talking really fast.